This LOS is define primary and secondary markets and explain how secondary markets support primary markets. For the definitions of primary market and secondary market, I just did a copy-paste right from the glossary. So again, I've said quite a few times, the glossary is a very important document for CFA review. So the primary market is the market where securities are first sold and the issuers receive the proceeds. The secondary market is the market where securities are traded among investors. Issuers sell their securities using underwritten public offerings, best efforts public offerings, private placements, shelf registrations, dividend reinvestment programs, and rights offerings. Well-functioning secondary markets are essential to raising capital in the primary markets because investors value the ability to sell their securities if they no longer want to hold them or if they need to disinvest to raise cash. If they cannot trade their securities in a liquid market, they will not pay as much for them. Just finish this LOS with a quick scan of the text. So under section 7.1 on the public offerings, you can see corporations generally contact with an investment bank to help them sell their securities to the public. Okay, the investment bank then lines up subscribers who will buy the security. Investment bankers call this the process the book building. Okay, so anytime, again, I'm just doing this because anytime you see anything in bold, those are the key words that you need to focus in on throughout your studies. The next paragraph, when time is of the essence, issuers in Europe may issue securities through an accelerated book build in which the investment bank arranges the offering in only 1 or 2 days. Such sales often occur at discounted prices. So there could be a question about discounted prices related to an accelerated book build. That would be a good, I could write a multiple choice question on that for sure. In an underwritten offering, the most common type of offering, the investment bank guarantees the sale of the issue at an offering price. Okay, and then it talks about the lead underwriter to build the book. In a best efforts offering, the investment bank only acts as the broker. If the offering is undersubscribed, the issuer will not sell as much as it had hoped to sell. For both types of offerings, the issuer and the bank usually jointly set the offering price following a negotiation. If they set a price that buyers consider too high, the offering will be undersubscribed and they'll fail to sell the entire issue. If they set the price too low, the offering will be oversubscribed, in which case the securities are often allocated to preferred clients on a pro rata basis. And then there's a little bit with regards to the ethics in terms of fair dealing. Okay, so then just scroll down. There's nothing in this LOS in terms of calculations, but again, these blue box examples are always interesting to go through. Won't spend all the time to go through it right now. Just want to remind you to go through it. And it's a pretty easy example. It's talking about the Playtech initial public offering, how many shares they issued, what price they got, a little bit with regards to they received cash less than the proceeds that were raised. Why? Because, of course, there's some cost to the placement, okay? And that's why there's net proceeds. And then finally, to finish this LOS, just going to look quickly at the private placements and other primary market transactions. So corporations sometimes issue their securities in private placements. What is a private placement? It's when a corporation sells securities directly to a small group of qualified investors, usually with the assistance of an investment bank, okay? And then you need to be familiar with a shelf registration. What is a shelf registration? It's when corporations sometimes sell new issues of seasoned securities directly to the public on a piecemeal basis via a shelf registration. They make all the public disclosures that it would for a regular offering, but it does not sell the shares in a single transaction. Instead, it sells the shares directly into the secondary market over time, generally when it needs additional capital. Shelf registrations provide corporations with flexibility in the timing of their capital transactions, and they can alleviate the downward pressures often associated with large secondary offers. Okay, and that's it for this LOS. Thank you.